In front of council is a report from the administration. The landfill scale clerk is a contract position. It comes to conclusion at the end of August 2012. A request for proposals for a 3-year agreement with a council-approved option for 3 years was advertised in the Soyuz Times to seek out interested parties. 2 parties submitted bids to provide the service, with the administration considering one party's proposal inadequate for consideration. The requirements of the scale clerk have changed from previous formal proposal requests in the following manner. Requirement to enforce bylaw requirements for load control has been added. Increased reporting due to changing demands of provincial regulations. Increased communication with provincial officials due to changes related to recycling and hazardous waste product handling. And increase in hours due to Tuesday 8 a.m. openings. Administration brought a report to Council on August 20th with a recommendation. Council passed the following motion, moved by Councillor Ryan, seconded by Councillor Plant, and resolved that Council approves extending the current contract for an appropriate operating period and re-advertising the request for proposals for the landfill waste scale position. Currently, we have budgeted $27,000 to fund the waste scale contract function. Administration discussed the opportunity to extend the current contract with B&B Wood Grinding. In a written response, B&B stated that they are prepared to extend the current contract for 1 year at the rate proposed in the request for proposal. The B&B Wood Grind proposal illustrates the proponent's extensive experience in landfill operations and training to meet the changing demands of the landfill operation. B&B has provided all the needed information, and B&B has provided this function for the past 6 years. To assist Council in exploring options, administration has provided Council with a breakdown to operate the function with 2 part-time or 1 full-time town employees and the rate currently paid to the regional district's landfill clerks. The attached wage paid to the RDOS clerks at $23.53 doesn't reflect benefits, but just to add, in all the calculations that we did in that particular sheet, benefits were included. The B&B proposal provides for an hourly cost of approximately $29.80, and the contract is responsible for furnishings, cell phone, and training costs. Implications: the community benefits from having effective and efficient operations of the scale house because it is the intake and entry of goods into the landfill. Organizationally, the organization benefits from working with an experienced operator that is proactive in promoting a high quality of landfill clerking operations. A decision to turn this function into a town employee would initiate a number of actions that would take approximately 2 to 3 months to complete if there was a union agreement. These actions include development of new job descriptions, review of the job descriptions by the union, and negotiation of a wage rate, advertising, interviewing, hiring, and training. The union will certainly look to neighboring operations in approving a wage rate. Turning down the B&B proposal for 1-year contract would leave the town with no operator for Saturday, September 1st. Therefore, all options would have to be considered, including closing the landfill. The town has no personnel trained to operate the scale and ensure appropriate documentation. Budget: any increase to enable the conclusion of this year will come from contingency funds. An increase in operations will be worked into next year's fee schedule. Sustainability: the community benefits from proper intake and handling of waste in its landfill. The unloading directions and bylaw implementation will assist in maintaining our landfill for an extended period of time. The options, we presented 4 options, including accepting D&B Wood Grind's proposal to provide waste scale clerk service for a 1-year rate at $48,048 and prepare an RFP in 2013. Approve the hiring of a town employee to provide the service is the second option. The third option, accept the B&B original RFP proposal for 3 years at $48.48 plus CPI. And then number 4, change the operating hours of the landfill to bring down the cost of operation of the scale house. A recommendation: administration recommends option 1. The RFP selection process includes both price and experience. B&B Wood Grind has extensive experience in training the operations of the scale house and landfill, understanding of the scope of the job, and a proven track record in all elements of reporting and cash handling. And that's the report.
Council? Councilor Ryan?
Mr. Mayor, I would
I would move the option 1 recommendation that we approve the B&B wood grind proposal for the waste scale clerk services for a period of 1 year at the rate of $48,048, and that we prepare an RFP for 2013.
I'll second that.
Okay. Speaking.
Thank you. I just had a question. The report mentions that we advertise in the Oswego Times. Was there any advertising beyond the Oswego Times?
Not that I'm aware of.
Well, I think that we should, and I'd be happy to include this in the motion, that we should advertise more widely on BC Bid or wherever else we do it, other local newspapers in the area. We obviously were faced this time with no choice, you know, and one that didn't work and one that did. And it's also, you know, it's interesting that the rate almost coincides with the projected cost there. So that's, I guess, in a sense, it's comforting, but it also is something we should, I guess, I know we do in our budget. So I would like to add, with the consent of my mover, that we advertise, you know, in our traditional wide range.
I don't know that I can support that, but we can do that by vote, I guess.
So that would be an add-on.
I would go along with that. I was the seconder. Sorry, Michael, have you finished? May I?
Yes, I have.
Okay, thank you. I think that we definitely need to accept this for a period of 1 year. Certainly, if we were to have a town employee take this on, it would cost us the same amount. And I think that because we have the experience there, and it would be a smooth transition, certainly considering that the contract, the new contract starts on Saturday, I would definitely be in favor of that. I don't think that it's a good idea to bring the operating hours of the landfill down. I think we've already run into a problem earlier this year where people seem to think it's appropriate to not use the landfill and pay the charges and go and dump things up in the hills wherever they feel it's that they won't get caught, maybe. So I do think that we need to maintain the same hours for sure at the landfill. So
I don't think that's ever been
never. It was number 4 on here. Was change the operating hours. That's why I'm just commenting on that.
Mayor Wells, could you put your microphone?
or we're
Yes.
Great. Thank you. Okay. Councillor Rhodes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just for clarification purposes, the amount in option 1, I'm just a little confused. I don't have the benefit of being here when this was discussed before. Is that based on the total number of hours, or are we just paying that out at a flat rate, irregardless of what? And does it include CPI, or is that?
The proposal was based on the RFP was for 1,612 hours, because that's the current number of hours that we operate the landfill, and it's as part of the overall package of the RFP that the report was recommended that rather than it'll be a 3-year contract with just a CPI factor involved in it.
So all of the terms of reference that are outlined in the RFP are applicable to this particular option?
That's right. Yes, all the job basically remains the same. It's a matter of the period of time that it will be implemented.
Okay. So to your question, it's sort of both.
Yeah.
It's that number of hours times that 29 cents per hour is $48,000 roughly. Close enough. Okay. Any other comments? And my reason for I'm not supporting it. I don't like the advertise widely, so that's why I'm pulling that out. Councillor Ryan, please.
Yes, just a final comment, Mr. Mayor, and that is that I feel that we've been well served by B&B, and you know, I'm happy to see them continuing for another year. and I would be happy to see them continue for beyond, but I just feel that when you don't have when you put out a bid and you don't have a choice, that makes me uncomfortable.
Any, Councillor Rhodes?
I have to hear the motion read back again. I was a little confused about that add-on.
Motion that council accepts the B&B Woodgrind proposal to provide waste-scale clerk services for a period of 1 year at $48,048 and prepare another RFP in 2013, and that the RFP in 2013 be more widely advertised than the local newspaper.
And once again, that's the part I don't like. So my negative vote will be because I don't like the widespread advertising. Councillor Rhodes.
Thanks again, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, I'm a little confused about adding that portion of it on. I think we have policy and direction to stipulate. I don't know why that's applicable in this particular motion. I understand why it's there because you worded it to be in there, but I need a little bit better understanding of it.
Mr. Romanko?
Well, my understanding would be that the additional element to the motion was just to try and get to see if there's wider interest in providing the service beyond what would be people who read the Suyas Times as a local newspaper. The intent is just to get more coverage, more potential bids. That's what I read into that element of the motion. Again, I wasn't involved in the advertising, so and it could very well have been in the Penticton Herald or that, but I'm just not aware of the situation.
I guess the whole premise of my position on this is I'm a bit of a homeboy, and if there's an opportunity for Suyas folks to be having this, it's way superior than having somebody in Summerland coming down to do it. So that's my opposition to it. I will hold my position on that. Councillor Rhodes.
Well, if we're still talking about it, I would have to speak against the motion because of that final portion of it. I too feel that way, and you know, whatever we can do to bring local individuals into anything that we spend money on, I think we should encourage it. I understand the logic behind going beyond this, but I don't know. I don't like it in the motion. That's what my problem is. I'm not opposed to the option. It's just that portion of it.
Any further discussion heading to the question? All in favor? Opposed? Motion is defeated. Over to council. Councillor Rowe, you want to take a kick at it?
Go ahead.
Well, I'll move it this time that we accept option 1 as it's worded in the options.
Okay. Thank you. And Councillor Plant seconding. I'll just jump in with a few comments on this. I think this is the way we are. I still find it unfortunate that we're into this because of this time frame. A little bit of a bullet to the head situation here. I think part of my recommendations or charges to administration would be to try to get this out earlier. I don't know how we ended up here in this sort of time squeeze. I guess normally you would have something that was acceptable, and in this case it wasn't, and we ended up sort of on the short end of the circle. That being said, this isn't a finger pointing or anything else. It's more of an awareness comment. Let's just be aware. I think the option 1 is the one that makes sense and carry us to where we are. Councillor Plant.
And thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to also say about the advertisement, we should be thinking about that in every RFP. So that's the reason I didn't to the motion, I think we need to find ways, again, to attract people to be a part of these RFPs that go out and for contracts. So to put it onto one specific thing, I understand, but we want to move forward with having as many people, especially local folks, giving their 2 cents into how they can help out with these jobs that come up. So yeah, that would be something that I would say, is that if we don't know how we actually put this thing out, that we actually go back and look at, okay, what are we missing so that we can get more interaction with local companies that might be interested.
And I appreciate those comments, but as an elected official, the toughest, people say, what's tough about your job? The toughest job is communicating with the public and getting that information out there, be it e-news, newspaper, whatever we do, it's getting that factual information out there. And it is, I think it's a real challenge. Be this the fish in Asuyas Lake or whatever issue that we're dealing with. Boy, it's tough to communicate with people. So maybe as we get into our new website and more social media going on, maybe that's a way to get an awareness out there. That's all you can do, is get that awareness out there, and that's all. Councillor Rhodes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I'm not sure what the implications of this are as we head into the RFP process next year. But sometime between now and then, or as a component of that RFP next year, I'd like to know what our status is with TILMA with regarding to this kind of thing. I'm not exactly sure. I don't want to do anything illegal if we're committed to do that. But if we could just maybe add that component into it when we reach that status next year. I'm really don't like that TILMA agreement that we entered into. If I could go back a little while and re-debate that, I certainly would not support that organization at all. But I would like to know that when we reach that point.
Okay, we'll include it as part of the report, but I can just say that in all our contracting, we do things by the law. And
I'm not suggesting that we do otherwise. I was concerned about it, and I wanted to mention that as well. Yeah.
And for the record, these sidebar comments are sidebar comments. What we will be voting on is option 1, as it's printed on the screen, plain and clear. And that is to accept the BB Woodgrind proposal to provide waste-scale clerk services for a period of 1 year at the rate of $48,048.00 and prepare another RFP in 2013. Period. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Let's go to the landfill. Motion to adjourn. Councillor Rhodes-Plante, all in favor? Let's move venues.